That is part 3 of Never Give Up. I'm sorry I didn't post part 3 last time. But I hope you enjoy it now. Torah's point of view. It wasn't unusual for Iwaizumi to miss his calls, but he would always call back at the first opportunity. When Torah didn't got a single message from his best friend after a week, he panicked. He knew that Iwaizumi had been struggling about something for about 2 weeks, but he refused to talk about it. Since Kiyomi replied to his messages, he knew that Iwaizumi is distant towards Kiyomi too. After a few more days, Kiyomi stopped responding to his messages too. Since he only had a week left before he had break from training, he couldn't go back to Japan and see for himself what was wrong with his best friend. He really wanted to know what was going on with his best friend, but he couldn't neglect his obligations to his team. Iwaizumi was off season a week early, so he visited Torah in Argentina. Actually, it was planned that Iwaizumi should stay in Japan until Torah came to Japan, but since the former ace realized how tense and stressed Torah was, he decided to fly to Argentina anyway. He knew how much it burdened the setter to be ignored by his best friend. Torah, calm down. I am sure they just have a lot to do. With what? The season is almost over. The MSBY have still 3 matches and are training for a month until they go on a break. But why are they ignoring me? Not only you. I can't reach out to them either. What if they found out that I have feelings for Iwaizumi? How would they have found out about our feelings? I am sure there is another reason behind this. Maybe they had a fight or they are moving and forgot to tell us. But it's almost 2 weeks already? Torah, there is no use in worrying now. You should concentrate on your training and then we are going back to Japan and figure out what's wrong. Okay? Can you cuddle me? The two laid down on the bed together and held each other tight until both fell asleep. The week was hell for the couple. Both tried to reach their respective best friends again and again, but without success. Iwaizumi was worried about his best friend Kiyomi and Iwaizumi. It wasn't like the two of them not to check in. And to find out that both of them didn't go to training made him particularly worried. Both were relieved when Iwaizumi finally replied to Oikawa, when he wrote him that he was on his way to the airport and will then fly to Japan. Welcome to a Nigiri Mia. I will. Oikawa, Iwaizumi, long time no see. Hey Osamu, good to see you. Where is Iwaizumi? Iwaizumi, you can sit down. Oikawa, you can come with me. Iwaizumi wants to talk to you alone? Then why couldn't we meet at his apartment? I don't know, but I think he will tell you as soon as he comes here. Osamu brought him into the back room for guests who had a private event, for example for business people or for smaller celebrations. The odd thing about the room was that 2 tissue boxes were the only things on the table. But Toru didn't worry about that. He was too worried about what Iwaizumi would tell him. He was very afraid of ending the friendship because he had feelings for the other setter. Iwaizumi will be here soon. I will bring you some water. Osamu walked out and closed the door behind him. The moment Oikawa was alone in the room, he was close to tears. He knew inwardly what the conversation would lead to. He could sense that they would enter the room as best friends but exit as strangers. Even if he didn't want to admit it, he knew it. The thought of losing his best friend hurt him a lot. When the door opened again, Toru turned to the door and saw the twins. Osamu put the water on one of the tables and went outside, closing the door behind him. Toru went to Iwaizumi and wanted to hug him, but he just turned away and took a few steps. This little rejection hurt Toru deep in the heart and some tears escaped him. This gesture confirmed his worst fears. Iwaizumi wanted to meet him because he wanted to end their friendship. Iwaizumi, what's wrong? Why are you rejecting me? What did I do? Ah. Kawa, you didn't do anything wrong. Omi and I nearly broke up and that's why I can't let you hug me. I am trying to save my relationship and no matter how bad it hurts me I can't continue our friendship. Omi is the love of my life but our friendship is hurting him. I have to choose him, after everything he did for me. Why? What did I do that is so bad that you hate me now? Kawa, you did nothing wrong. It's all my fault. I am in love with you and I have to cut you out to save my relationship with Omi. I can't give up on my 7 years with Omi. And what about our 10 years long friendship? You can just give up on that? Both were in tears and both wanted to hug the other to give him the comfort they both so needed. Both wanted the other to take him in his arms but both stopped and watched as their friendship crumbled into pieces. Could you give up on Iwaizumi, just to be my friend? But he accepted that I am in love with you a long time ago? But that is not the point? Omi doesn't ask, wait what? Sumu, I love you too. I want you to be my boyfriend too. I would do anything for you. I need to go. Toru saw the moment Itsumo understood what he was saying. He will never forget the moment. First he could see how happy it made Itsumo to have his feelings reciprocated. But then Toru could see how Itsumo's feelings destroyed him. Oikawa Toru will never forget how his best friend/crush burst into tears and sobs and ran out of the room. Sumu, wait. When Toru was alone in the room, he sank to his knees and allowed his heart to shatter into pieces. He couldn't believe he was being rejected even though his feelings were reciprocated. What had just happened was much worse for Toru than his worst fears. He did not know how long he sat on the floor and cried. He also did not know how he got home. The first thing he could remember was waking up in the strong arms of his beloved, whose face was also marked by tears. Iwaizumi's point of view. The day Iwaizumi realized he had feelings for his best friend Kiyomi was one of the worst days of his life. He knew he had to tell Toru the truth, even if it meant losing his beloved Toru. However, the reaction Toru had was not what he thought. I trust you, Iwa-chan. I know you would never cheat on me, as long as you are still mine. I don't mind if you have feelings for Kiyo-chan, as long as you don't act on them. That's what Oikawa said at the time. However, this made the setter think about his own feelings and realized that he had feelings for Itsumo. The two talked about everything and decided to keep their feelings to themselves. When Itsumo stopped checking in with them, he became very concerned, to the point where he wondered if it was normal to be so concerned about a friend. When Kiyomi stopped speaking, Iwaizumi understood that he was worried about Itsumo in the same way that he was worried about Kiyomi. As he thought about it more closely, he realized that he was also in love with Itsumo. Since he could see how bad Toru was doing, he decided not to tell anyone about his feelings just yet. When Osamu said that Itsumo wanted to talk to Toru alone in a separate room, Iwaizumi became very concerned. He could sense that this conversation would not be of the happy kind. When Itsumo arrived and went straight to the back and didn't even say hello to Iwaizumi, his heart hurt a little, but he fought it down. Kiyomi looked over at Iwa and then looked down at the floor as if he was thinking if he should go over to him. When he looked up, he walked over and sat next to his best friend. Hey Kiyo. Hey. What's up with you? You ignored all my texts and calls for 2 weeks and all you say is hey? I am not really in a good mood. Kiyo, what happened? Toru and I are worried sick. Atsu and I are going through a rough patch and we nearly broke up. Oh man, I'm sorry? But we could have helped you? No. Because this all is Toru's fault? What? Why? What did he do? Well, to be fair, it's not really Toru's fault, more like he is the cause of our problems. Why, what happened? Can't you just explain it? I want to know why my boyfriend is suffering and worried sick. Kiyomi leaned over the table and hung his head. When he looked up again, there were tears in his eyes. Iwaizumi wanted to put a comforting hand on his shoulder, but the germaphobe leaned back. Kiyo, seriously, what's wrong? You don't even let me touch you. I thought you were comfortable with me. Atsu fell in love with Toru? But he claims that he still loves me. I know he still loves you. I know it's hard to understand, but it's possible to love multiple people at the same time? I hope so. I can't live without. Kiyomi was interrupted as a tearful Itsumo came running to the table. Go, check you, up on K, ka, wa. Iwaizumi could barely understand what Itsumo was trying to say, but he didn't need to understand it to know that he had to go to his boyfriend. Iwaizumi had barely gotten up when Itsumo ran out of the restaurant and didn't give Kiyomi a chance to follow him. The athletic trainer looked up to Kiyomi. There you have the proof that he loves you more than he loves Toru. I need to collect the pieces that your boyfriend left behind. Wait. What do you mean? Toru loves Tsumuto and he will be devastated that his best friend just rejected him. Iwaizumi didn't let Kiyomi say another word as he turned and walked to the back. When he opened the door, his heart broke. He quickly ran to Toru and pulled him into his arms. The former ace shed sporadic tears but managed to stay strong and offer comfort to his loved one. Toru immediately clung to him and sobbed into his partner. Iwaizumi never heard Toru cry so desperately. But for Iwaizumi, reality set in and he realized that not only Toru had lost his best friend but also he himself. Iwaizumi tried to stay strong, but the sadness and anger were too big and he also started to cry. The two didn't speak, they just sat in each other's arms for a while, mourning their lost friendships. Neither of them knew how long they were in the room, but when they came out, Osamu brought them out through the back exit and gave them a nigiri's to take with them. Toru, don't be too mad at Tsumu. He would even choose Kiyomi over me. They went through a lot together. Kiyomi was there for him when our mother died and he was the only one who managed to put Tsumu's smile back. He was there when Tsuma needed him the most. But that doesn't change that he broke me. We're friends for 10 years. We were their best friends, but they don't even give us a chance to fix things. I know, but 7 years ago you weren't so close to Tsumu and Kiyomi was the one who saved him. Give them some time. I know Kiyomi and he will eventually accept it and try to keep up your friendship. I hope he will. But we will not wait forever. Say Tsumu he can always come to me. No matter what happened today, he will remain my best friend. The couple turned and walked into their shared apartment. They didn't talk about what was happening in the restaurant, at least not at first. Toru needed a few days to process everything. No matter how much his heart hurt, he firmly believed that Itsumo would come back to him. He didn't care if he came back as a lover or as a best friend as long as he didn't lose him entirely. Iwaizumi tried to get in touch with Kiyomi several times, but the spiker rejected the calls and the texts all remained unanswered. He tried to hold on to hope like Toru, but with every rejected call and unanswered text his hope faded. When Toru was ready, he asked him what had happened in the restaurant, and Toru told him everything. Iwaizumi hated it that Itsumo broke his lover, but he couldn't be mad at him. He loved the blonde setter and could understand why he chose Kiyomi. But that doesn't mean that it hurts any less. He just wished that they could stay friends, even if they can't be in a relationship, but he knew how much Kiyomi loves Itsumo and that he will not risk to lose him. He even understood why he doesn't want that the two setters remained friends. But he misses his grumpy best friend. He wanted to give Kiyomi time to calm down, but just after a few days, he couldn't take it anymore. He had to talk to his best friend. So he decided to stop by Kiyomi's place. He figured that it doesn't matter if he confesses his feelings or not, at least the situation can't get any worse for the couple. He hoped he could make Kiyomi see that they still can be friends. He rang the doorbell and waited. He could hear someone approaching the door and he straightened up. The door swung open and Iwaizumi could see how tired Kiyomi was. "Hey Kiyomi, can I come in?" "Yeah, come in." Kiyomi sat down on a chair and looked at Iwaizumi, who sat down on the couch. "Why did you come here? I guess you didn't come to hang out. Can't you let Tsumu and Toru be friends? Toru is feeling horrible. I love Tsumu and I don't want to lose him. I can't lose him, but if he stays by Toru's side he might find out that he is too good for me and choose him over me. Kiyo, that is bullshit and you know that. I know that Toru is in love with Tsumu, but I know he wouldn't leave me. Just because he loves Tsumu doesn't mean that he stopped loving me. Like I still love him despite I have feelings for you." Kiyomi's eyes widened and he stared at his best friend. It was evident that he couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You are in love with me?" "Yes, and I think I also have feelings for Tsumu, but I am not so sure about that." "But isn't it unfair towards Toru and yourself if you both are in a relationship while loving other people's?" "No, because we still love each other." "Then you want to be together with each other and with Tsumu?" "Kinda, yeah." "Did you ever think about polyamorous relationships?" "No, not really. I always just wanted Tsumu." "I guess you are against it, but if you ever think you would be able to share your love, call me. I know it is not easy for you, but believe it is not easy for us too. Tsumu is important to us. But I think it's the hardest for Tsumu. I know he feels guilty for having feelings for Toru and he misses him, and I am sure you are distant towards him. Just be there for him, he needs you. He just ended a 10-year-long friendship. Do you think I don't know that Tsumu isn't doing good? I see him struggling, and I am there for him. I think you should go now." Iwaizumi had to fight back tears. It pained him to see how much Kiyomi suffers from the circumstances. The rejection hurt him too. Kiyomi got up and went to the door. He opened it and looked at Iwaizumi. The athletic trainer got up and walked to the door. When he turned around to say something to Kiyomi, the door was closed in front of his face. He only let his tears fall after he got home. He leaned against the front door and sank to the ground. He rested his head on his knees, his arms wrapped around his legs. Toru heard the sobs and rushed over to Iwaizumi and hugged him tightly. "Baby, what happened?" I confessed to Kiyomi and I thought I could make him understand that we all can still be friends or even more, but..." He was interrupted by a sob. He clung even tighter to Toru. The setter held his boyfriend tight. It didn't went well? That was part 3. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm kinda shocked that we have almost 600 subscriber. It makes me really happy to see that you guys enjoy my videos. The next video will probably be the 500 sub special. After that I plan to do part 4 of Never Give Up. I also have an extra part for Torn Apart in planning and a semi-shira one-shot. I have an Instagram account where I will make updates and where I will upload smut scenes. Omis_Atsu99. Join my Discord server. I'm occasionally in the voice channel. If I am in the voice channel I will announce it on Insta. Link is in the description. I apologize for the grammatical errors. Write me a comment how you liked the story. Don't forget to follow. If someone wants a video, please let me know it. I will try to write your ideas as best as possible.